Mistakes and failures are our best allies in life. The more we make them, the quicker we can achieve success. I know that sounds strange, but it's the truth. I'm Barry Kibrick. Let's start making mistakes. Mistakes and failures, you've got to love them because they're the things that show us the way. They are actually the building blocks of any success in life. And I don't mean just wealth and success of riches. I mean success in living a quality life. You must make mistakes. There's no way around it. Think about it even as part of our human existence. We walk. How did we learn to walk? We had to fall and make mistakes. There's no other way about it. We even had to eat poisons before we were able to figure out what foods would be healthy for us. As human beings from the very beginning, mistakes are not only part of our nature, but they are what truly bring us wisdom. And even more so, the more mistakes you make, the wiser you become, because you learn from the mistake. And that is the best thing you can do. When you recover from that mistake, your inner being develops a sense of confidence. Let me give you some classic examples of where mistakes play out and how they benefit all who participate and experience them, and even those who are simply watching the mistake happen. Let's take a look at baseball. You've got a classic example is virtually every person in the Hall of Fame got up every 10 times and made out 7. They averaged approximately 300, and that's what it'll take to get into the Hall of Fame. If you can average a little over 300, you'll make it. Now, the classic example of all time is Babe Ruth himself. He led both leagues for 50 years in home runs, but he also led them in strikeouts. Now, what made it so special is the more attempts he made, he was swinging for that fence. And when he was swinging for that fence, sure, he may have struck out, but when he connected, boom, home run. And the benefit of that for his team, well, all you have to do is look at the Yankees during the era of Babe Ruth, and you'll see how many World Series they won because of the many mistakes not only he, but the team made, learned from, and improved. Now, the other very important element about making mistakes is that you need to forget them quickly. You must, in order to keep making mistakes, because if you don't forget them quickly and you get bottled up by the mistake, you will not have the freedom to take those mistakes, build that foundation of success that leads you to where you will find the happiness within your own life. Now, the quicker you can acknowledge and move on, the better you will be. Again, a classic example in sport is golf. Just look at any golfer. When he hits the ball way out of the fairway, the next thing he'll do, calm himself, learn, and you'll see almost every time the great golfers will have a beautiful pitch or a putt the next time they swing the club. Now, the biggest lie I've ever heard was, I never make the same mistake twice. If anyone tells you that, they've already lied to you 2 times. The reason is that our mistakes that we personally make are part of our human nature. They're part of our personality. They stem from within us. The mistakes I make happen to be mistakes that I will tend to make over and over again. Two classic examples for me is I tend to talk too much. Now, in general, that would be a bad thing. But for my profession, it's actually not so terrible. But I still have to temper myself. I don't want to just ramble. I want to be able to make the points clearly that I want to talk to you about. And I learned over time better and better to do that. And I'm still working on it. Another thing that I do is I tend to gild the gilded lily, as I say. I have a tendency to exaggerate about even the good things that need no exaggeration. I finally began to realize the more I was doing it, I was taking away from the value of the effort that was naturally there. It took me a little time to learn about it, and I'll sometimes still slip back into it, but I catch myself, and that mistake then becomes almost a sense of an attractive part of my personality, because as Bruce Lee says so lovingly, you can make as many mistakes as you want, as long as you quickly apologize for them. And that I do when I make a mistake and correct it to the best of my ability. In fact, if we didn't make the same type of mistakes, we'd really be in trouble, because then we would have to learn so many new things over and over again. It's important to see the type of mistakes you make so you can build that foundation and make it stronger. Mistakes also lead to creativity. Some of the greatest creative things that have ever occurred began by a mistake, whether it was the discovery of penicillin or the making of the greatest computers. They began by mistakes. Kids working in their garage, fiddling with tools, fiddling with processors, and then developing things such as an iPhone, a Mac, Windows, you name it. All of those people began with mistakes that they made. Melanie Rothschild even wrote a book called The Art of Mistakes. She believes that mistakes so much lead to creativity that she coined the phrase, the art of the mistake. She says we need to reevaluate our relationship with mistakes. From a very early age, we're oftentimes discouraged to make them. We have to change that mindset. We have to be encouraged to take chances, make mistakes, see that they are not fatal, that they are not that harmful. That will allow us to take the chances we need to take in order to live a life that we truly will feel enriched by. I know that my conversation with you today was not a mistake. I can feel it inside, and I'm so honored you took the time to be with me. I want to also thank my patrons. I could not do this without you guys. You support me and you allow this to happen, and I hope if any of this is working for you and moving you, that you also would think of becoming a patron by visiting my website at barrykibrick.com. There you could also see all my podcasts, my episodes, and a little patron button for just $2 a month, or more if you'd like. It really will help. But more importantly for me is that if you find this information valuable, you subscribe to the channel, you click on the little bell so you'll get notified every time that we post a new video, and most importantly, if this moved you and you know anyone else who can benefit by it, you share it with them. So go forth and bathe in the waters of mistakes. I'm Barry Kibrick. May your mistakes be fruitful and may they multiply. Till next time.